World Football's governing body, FIFA, is to create an annual peace prize which will be awarded for the first time next month in Washington, D.C. Now, the organization's president, Gianni Infantino, said the FIFA Peace Prize will recognize exceptional actions for peace. He refused to reveal who would receive the honor at the World Cup draw on December the 5th. But Infantino has a close relationship with the US President Donald Trump, who, of course, failed to win the Nobel Peace Prize last month.
It went from the Nobel Peace Prize to the FIFA Peace Prize.
First of all, he should have won the Nobel. So this is, but I got to say that as an American, the president must reject this. Soccer is un-American. This is not one of our sports. Take it back to Europe. Go away with your soccer ball. This is an America First presidency, damn it. And I will not accept a soccer prize being handed to our president.
I'd say it's an amazing example for your children. Like, if you can't go out and win the award, when you come home, we'll make you one. We will make you an award, and we'll make a little paper mache with a little medal, and we'll actually make it like a little picture of the Washington Monument, and then he can go out and say, I won a peace prize. And then afterwards, we can shut it down just to pacify
It's
it.
more
I just think
valuable
this is
than
fascinating.
FIFA has created its own peace prize, which looks to be awarded to Donald Trump before next month's World Cup draw. Trump, as we know, coveted the Nobel Peace Prize last month, and that was a move that was front and center backed by the FIFA president Gianni Infantino. Trump was said to be angry that he wasn't awarded that peace prize last month after his Israel-Gaza peace deal. It went to a Venezuelan lady for the work she does, a lady by the name of Maria Corina Machado. But indeed, FIFA President Gianni Infantino, seen by some as Trump's local acolyte, said at the time that the US president should have received the honor. So if you didn't get that one, how about this one? This one that FIFA has got ready in the oven right now. What about this, Simon? On the sycophancy meter, where would FIFA awarding their own peace prize to Trump actually land? How much of a head scratcher will this be if Trump gets his hands on this trophy?
It's pitiful, isn't it?
I mean, FIFA say the prize will be awarded annually to those who, quote, through their unwavering commitment and their special actions have helped to unite people all over the world in peace and consequently deserve a special and unique recognition.
But it's pitiful, isn't it?
Step up the Donald. Really? Has he not got his ICE agents dragging people off streets?
Well, that's a different discussion. That's a different...
We're talking peace award.
Yeah, but we're talking about
unity.
World peace.
Unity all over the world.
What the policy that he was elected...
He stops wars, apparently.
What the policy that he was elected on into government is different discussion to what he's trying to do or in part has half achieved in the situation and the conflict in Gaza. What he's trying to do, however successful he may not be, everybody knows that the key component to negating these challenges is America and Trump. And Trump's attitude to wanting to do it is in part something to be commended.
I agree with you, Simon, totally, but why should FIFA dip its toe into that?
Correct. There's the argument.
Yeah.
How pitiful and how delusions of grandeur do football people have that they sit there thinking that anybody gives a damn about whether FIFA decide they're going to give a peace award. If they wanted to give it for wonderful contribution to sport and meaningful things, where you look around countries in the world and you see people that are creating youth academies in underinvested countries and making sure that young people are being given an opportunity, then by all means those sort of things are valuable.
Yeah.
If you start coming out of your lane, and I don't want to be a sort of a football person or a sports person that says the only people who can comment on sport are sports people, or the only people who can talk about politics are politicians, because that's cobblers. But there is an element of how delusional do you want to be to your own importance. I would be embarrassed to receive an award from a football operation because I would think it was meaningless.
Yeah.
FIFA just announced a brand new peace prize right after Trump got snubbed for the Nobel. What perfect timing for the December World Cup draw in Washington, D.C. Everyone can see through this obvious setup. This isn't about peace, it's about saving face for 2026. When your tournament host country is falling apart and you need to keep the president happy, you create a participation trophy. FIFA President Gianni Infantino is so far up Trump's backside that all we can see are his feet hanging out, and now he's dragging the World Cup down with him. Before we get rolling, thanks for being here, and if you're new, feel free to subscribe. It genuinely helps the channel and keeps this kind of coverage going. The world sees right through FIFA's scam. The comment sections everywhere are calling this exactly what it is, a complete sham. The Washington Post straight up called it a Trump-tailored peace prize and labeled it an own goal for FIFA. Newsweek is asking if FIFA created this prize just for Nobel-hungry Trump. Even the most casual soccer fans are posting Simpsons memes about fake awards. This is the first annual Montgomery Burns Award for Outstanding Achievement in the Field of Excellence, all over again. Infantino's timing is so suspicious it hurts. He announces this thing at a Miami event right after Trump speaks, then sets the first ceremony for Washington, D.C. during the World Cup draw. They're not even trying to hide it anymore. FIFA's official description says the award goes to those who unite people all over the world in peace. Really? The guy deploying National Guard troops in host cities and conducting ICE raids that spark massive protests? That's your peace candidate? Fans are already predicting Trump wins this thing before it's even officially announced. The whole internet is making jokes about how obvious this setup is. One comment read, "So FIFA invent an award to give Trump because he sulked about missing out on the Nobel Peace Prize, which he didn't deserve. A total sham." Another just said, "Congrats to Trump," with that Simpsons meme. Even sports commentators are embarrassed by this. Simon Jordan from TalkSport said he'd be embarrassed to receive an award from a football operation because it would be meaningless. He called it pitiful and asked how delusional FIFA has to be about their own importance. When sports media personalities are calling out your award as worthless before you even hand it out, that tells you everything. FIFA's description sounds like it was written specifically for Trump. They want to recognize people who bring hope for future generations and unite people. This from the same organization that stayed quiet about human rights abuses in Qatar, but suddenly cares about peace when it involves their American buddy. The hypocrisy is staggering. The pattern here is crystal clear. Trump gets rejected for the real Peace Prize in October. Infantino immediately starts talking about how Trump deserved it. Then magically FIFA creates their own version in November. The first ceremony just happens to be in Trump's backyard during the biggest soccer event of the year. They're treating the World Cup like a political campaign stop. What makes this even more insulting is that there are actual peace workers around the world doing real work who get ignored while Trump gets his participation trophy. People risking their lives to end conflicts, building bridges between communities, actually creating peace instead of just talking about it. But FIFA doesn't care about them because they can't help with World Cup politics. This whole thing proves FIFA has zero integrity left. They're willing to turn their biggest tournament into a political circus just to keep one man happy. The World Cup is supposed to bring the world together through soccer, not serve as a backdrop for manufactured awards ceremonies designed to stroke someone's ego. America's safety crisis makes Canada look better. Meanwhile, Trump's threatening to move World Cup games from unsafe cities like Chicago, while his own policies are making America look like the unsafe option. You've got National Guard troops deployed in host cities, ICE raids sparking massive protests, and visa processing delays up to a year for international fans. This is the country that's supposed to be winning peace prizes? The optics are absolutely terrible. Mass shootings, political violence, assassination attempts, and now we're supposed to believe America deserves recognition for creating peace? The BBC reported that several host cities have troops on the streets conducting deportation raids. Instead of welcoming the world, America is bracing for conflict. That's not exactly the image you want when you're trying to host a global celebration of unity. FIFA knows this is a disaster waiting to happen. They're quietly considering shifting matches to Canada and Mexico anyway, because the American venues are becoming political flashpoints. Canadian cities like Toronto and Vancouver have clean security records and stable political environments. You don't need military deployment to keep the peace in Canadian host cities, because there's actually peace there to begin with. Mexico offers the same thing, a stable environment without the partisan drama that's tearing America apart. Their security challenges are predictable and manageable, not the kind of explosive political tensions that could turn any World Cup match into a protest zone. When FIFA officials talk about football being bigger than governments, they're basically admitting they can't trust the American government to keep politics out of their tournament. The visa situation alone is embarrassing. International fans are facing waits up to a year just for tourist interviews, while other countries introduced fast-track systems for World Cup visitors. Russia and Qatar, countries everyone criticized for their hosting, still managed to make it easier for fans to attend than America is planning to. The message to the world is clear: we don't trust you, and we don't really want you here. This creates a perfect opportunity for Canada and Mexico to step up. FIFA can quietly shift more high-profile matches north and south while claiming it's about logistics or weather. Canadian venues have been upgraded with FIFA funding, and they're ready for big crowds without needing military oversight. The transportation links work, the security is cooperative, and there's no risk of federal troops clashing with local protesters. The Peace Prize winner's own country can't guarantee peace for visitors. That's the contradiction nobody wants to talk about. How can you give someone a peace award when their policies are creating the exact opposite of peace in the cities that are supposed to welcome the world? FIFA is essentially admitting that America isn't safe enough for their own standards by considering these venue shifts. Canada benefits from this chaos because we've maintained the calm political environment that makes international events actually work. Our visa processing is straightforward. Our cities don't need military deployment, and our fans can focus on soccer instead of politics. The contrast couldn't be clearer, and FIFA officials know it. This whole Peace Prize thing is damage control for a hosting disaster that's already unfolding. Infantino is trying to smooth over the fact that his favorite country is proving it's not ready for the world stage. The awards ceremony in Washington, D.C. isn't about celebrating peace. It's about desperately trying to create some positive headlines before the tournament starts falling apart. FIFA's political corruption exposed. This isn't FIFA's first time selling out their integrity for political influence. We've seen this pattern before with Qatar, Russia, and every other controversial hosting decision they've made. The organization consistently prioritizes power and money over the sport itself. And now they're doing it again with this manufactured Peace Prize. Infantino's friendship with Trump has completely compromised the tournament's neutrality. When the FIFA president is attending political summits and handing out participation trophies, he's turned soccer's governing body into a political tool. Other sports organizations manage to maintain actual neutrality during major events, but FIFA can't resist getting involved in geopolitics. The timing of this award announcement proves it's purely political manipulation. Right after Trump gets snubbed for the Nobel, FIFA magically creates their own version. Right before the World Cup draw in Washington, they schedule the first ceremony. This isn't about recognizing peace work. It's about managing relationships with powerful people who can help or hurt FIFA's business interests. Previous FIFA scandals show exactly how this works. They promise transparency and reform after each corruption investigation, then immediately go back to making decisions based on political connections and financial benefits. The Peace Prize is just the latest example of FIFA using their platform to influence global politics instead of focusing on soccer. This sets a dangerous precedent for future tournaments. If FIFA presidents can create awards for their political allies, what's next? Will every World Cup come with manufactured honors designed to keep host country leaders happy? The sport is supposed to be bigger than individual governments. But Infantino is making FIFA smaller by turning it into a diplomatic tool. Conclusion: who deserves real recognition? Real peace workers around the world are getting ignored while Trump gets his participation trophy from a soccer organization. People actually risking their lives to end conflicts and build bridges between communities deserve recognition, not politicians who deploy troops in their own cities. America's proving it's not safe enough to deserve peace recognition when host cities need military oversight just to function. Drop your comments on who actually deserves a Peace Prize and whether America is really safe enough for the World Cup.